What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome back to another Bears recap video. Today, I just wanted to hop on real quick and talk about kind of what's been going on the first 2 weeks and what especially happened yesterday versus the Lions. Bears ended up losing that game. They got completely blown out by the Lions. And to be honest, this defense didn't even give us a chance to win this game. Jalen Johnson got re-injured along with TJ Edwards, which completely killed any momentum this defense had. They went out in the first start of the game and let up a touchdown on the open drive. And I'm pretty worried about TJ Edwards and Jalen Johnson's injuries as they were both re-injuries. So it'd be hard to think that these are just going to be a day-to-day injury and they'll be back next week. But I'm going to try to stay positive and hope that we do end up seeing them this week. Versus the Cowboys at home, the Bears are actually favorited versus the Cowboys this week, which is pretty surprising. But staying on the topic of the defense, watching Montez Sweat play is hard. It's hard to watch. He's not getting any pressure. He's hardly the player that we signed. Ryan Poles gave him a huge contract and trade for him, and he's been pretty much a non-factor on this. I know a lot of Bears fans like to say that he's probably getting double teamed because there's no one else in that defensive line. That is true, but at the end of the day, we paid him to be a star player, and he's not showing up at all. He's not. He hasn't become a star player, not even close. But also, a big signing we had in the offseason that a lot of people seemed like was Grady Jarrett. And I haven't seen any replay, any highlight of him getting pressure. I haven't even noticed Grady Jarrett is on the team. I think he's like number 50, but I haven't even been able to notice him. And he hasn't been making any plays. And we gave him a nice contract. 3 years, somewhere around 50 million total. But so that's been extremely frustrating. This defense has been complete garbage. I mean, Jared Goff, there was times where he could have sat down and had a meal in that pocket. We've been getting no pressure. It's been so hard to watch. It's hard to blame Dennis Allen because he's got two practice squad guys starting at corner, and then whatever you want to consider Tyreek Stevenson. I don't know what watching him one on one coverage, especially versus Monroe St. Brown. You know he's going to get cooked every time. So we got three corners right now who are not playing at an NFL level. So that just brings back the Jalen Johnson injury, and that defense desperately need him. When he was in yesterday, he had a huge pass breakup on third down where he ended up hurting himself on, but he fully extended and got in there to break up a pass to Amon St. Brown and got the defense off the field. The defense looks completely different when he's out there. It's not even close. But the defense has all sorts of issues. I think they need to start blitzing more because this front four is not going to get to the quarterback ever. Um, and trying to hold up on in the secondary is just not going to happen. So when your defensive front can't get there and your secondary is not going to hold up, it's just a recipe for disaster, which is what we saw yesterday. Jamison Williams had a couple catches he was completely wide open. He had TJ Edwards on him at one point, and I don't even know how that happens. But yeah, that's gonna end terribly every single time. Moving on to the offense, uh, wasn't as bad. Roma Dunze had a huge day. That was awesome to see. He had two touchdowns. Um, Other than him I thought Swift had a nice day. He did fumble, but I think that was more of a great play by the defender. I mean, he got smoked, and that defender put his helmet right on the ball. So I mean, that was really just more of a good play by the defender more than anything. But I thought Swift looked pretty good. Adunze looked pretty good. Caleb Williams definitely improved. That one pick he had down the sideline was pretty nasty, but I mean at that point the game was pretty much already over, and he was just trying to make something happen. But as far as our rookies go, our Colston Loveland and Luther Burden, I have no clue what's going on there. That is as bad as it gets when you talk about spending a tenth overall pick on a tight end, and then also spending the 39th pick on Luther Burden. I mean, those guys could not be any less factors of the game. Uh, I think I think Loveland has two catches the whole year, and I don't know if Luther Burden has one catch for -3 yards. Uh, from Caleb Williams. I'm not sure. I didn't catch if he had any more catches with Tyson in the fourth quarter, but I mean that it's so early. Those guys are 2 games into NFL career, but that is just disgusting. What is going on with those two guys? It almost seems like there's too many cooks in the kitchen with this offense. We got Cole Kmet and Loveland; those are two should be two very good tight ends who should be getting the ball. And then you got four receivers who are quality receivers in the NFL, or at least should be. So you got six weapons who you could go to, and that doesn't even include Swift out of the backfield. That that just looks absolutely terrible. Roma Dunze is definitely taken over as wide receiver one, but there needs to be something to change. There needs to be play designs or to get Loveland or Burden involved. Not that they have to be involved, but I mean, this just makes Ryan Poles terrible on out there. And it wasn't all in Ryan Poles. I'm sure Ben Johnson had a lot to do with the drafting in those two, but the early returns look outrageously bad, especially when you take into consideration what Brock Bowers was able to do as he was picked even later last round in the first round. And then what Tyler Warren's doing with the Colts right now, he looks fantastic. They're getting him the ball in space. I would say it's kind of more important to get Loveland the ball than it is Luther. Three receivers who can get the job done, but I would love to see Loveland get more involved. But anyways, moving on from the rookies, Caleb definitely got better. Not hard to do after week one, but Caleb definitely looked like the quarterback we expected him to be. He made a lot of great throws. I know Rome had a big drop for chunk play, but Caleb was delivering the ball accurately. He was throwing with some velocity too. I thought Caleb Williams for the most part looked pretty good. The defense just didn't even give us a chance. The interception was bad, but at that point, the game didn't even see the game. Uh, Santos started off the game kicking the ball out of bounds, which was a week late, and the Detroit ended up starting at the 40-yard line, which was an absolutely great start to the game and was pretty much going to be how the rest of the game was going to go. And yeah, that's as bad as it gets. Caleb and Rome look good. That's about all the positives away from the game. And I think we've played the Cowboys next week. That game probably will get ugly. Dak's looking pretty good. Cowboys defense didn't look good at all. They let up like 30 something points. Giants, their secondary looked terrible. They had no clue what they were doing with Neighbors. I think Neighbors had 160 yards, so maybe we can take advantage of the Cowboys secondary. But they did also just add Jadeveon Clowney to that defensive line. So I mean, not that he's prime Jadeveon Clowney, but that's something to at least mention when looking forward to next. As far as the defense goes versus the Cowboys, if Jalen Johnson isn't playing, I don't know who's guarding CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb might go for 400 yards. And Javonte Williams has looked pretty good, actually really good the first 2 weeks. So we're going to need to stop the run and also cover him out of the backfield. He's been a big receiving threat for the Cowboys. But to be honest, I have no clue how they're favored versus the Cowboys. I know they're at home. The Bears are at home. I mean, shoot, how bad the Bears have looked these first 2 weeks have given me no confidence that they're favored over the Cowboys. And also, especially the Sunday night game last night, the Vikings couldn't even score a touchdown against the Falcons. So leave it up to the Bears to let JJ McCarthy become the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. I think it was just the North, or was it full NFC? I'm not sure. Might have just been the North, but yeah, leave it up to the Bears to let him come out and beat us in a gross fashion. Falcons made him look like what he is. He's a quarterback who's making his start in the NFL. But yeah, I mean that game didn't help the Bears at all. That game didn't give anybody any confidence. Bears defense could be good. Um, but I mean I want to get back to 1-2 versus Cowboys. Bears have some winnable games coming up. They also have played two of the best teams in the NFL. I mean the Vikings might not be that after last night, but Vikings are still a dang good team. So I mean it's really tough to start your season against two division rivals. One of them being on the road. But that Detroit loss doesn't seem so bad if you don't lose week one. Looking back, we really should have won that game. We should have been more prepared. Should have put a lot of pressure on JJ because that's what the Falcons were able to do, and they got to him. Yeah, going forward, um, not looking great. But I appreciate you guys for listening and tuning in. And let me know if you guys like these type of videos. I'll continue them going forward. I think throughout the season, hopefully they get more positive. But I'm gonna link my Twitter down below. That's where I'm very active on there. I'm always posting and sharing my opinions and talking about Bears football. It's at Bears Network. I'll link it in the description. And then if you guys leave a comment down below and say you followed me on Twitter, I'll be doing a giveaway on Twitter here soon. I might give away a jersey or just some money or something like that. So comment down below that you followed me on Twitter, and I'll follow some of you guys back as well as we're going to be hosting a giveaway here pretty soon once we hit 1,000 followers. So stay tuned for that. And I appreciate you guys for watching. Have a good one. Go Bears. Hopefully we get a win against the Cowboys this week. Get back to 1-2. But I'll see you guys in the next one.